Chosen ones, you are a living karma. People regret how they treated you. How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours. Wayne Dyer. Welcome to Spiritual Wisdom, where we dive deep into the truths that awaken your soul. In today's powerful message, we're exploring the journey of the chosen ones, how your very existence becomes living karma for those who wronged you. You are the mirror that reflects their actions, and now they feel the weight of their choices. But this isn't just about them, it's about your growth, your strength, and your purpose. How have you turned pain into power? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share your experience with us. Don't forget to like and share this video if it resonates with your journey, because your story might be the light someone else needs today. 1. Solitude was part of your journey. At times, solitude felt unbearable. You wondered why relationships crumbled, why people you trusted turned their backs on you, and why you always seemed to walk a lonely road. But let me tell you something. That solitude was never a curse. It was your greatest blessing. The universe was refining you, sharpening your wisdom, intuition, and inner power. It's in the quiet moments that you develop the clarity to see through deception, the strength to rise above betrayal, and the resilience to walk your path alone. Spiritual growth often requires separation from distractions. As Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." The pain you endured wasn't in vain. It was shaping you into something greater. Once upon a time, they dismissed you, underestimated you, or even ridiculed you. But now, they regret it. The very people who took you for granted are watching as you elevate. Your energy has transformed, and they can feel it. There is something different about you, an undeniable spiritual presence, an aura of wisdom that demands respect. This is what happens when you are divinely set apart. Those who mistreated you now find themselves in regret because they lost access to your presence. You were never just anybody. You were their blessing. But they couldn't see it then. As the saying goes, some people don't realize what they have until it's gone. Now, as they watch you evolve, they remember every unkind word, every betrayal, and every moment they took you for granted. That regret is the karma they created for themselves. You didn't seek revenge. You simply grew, and that is your power. You don't need to get even with those who wronged you. The universe already took care of that. Your very existence, your growth, your rising success, it all speaks louder than any revenge ever could. The best response to betrayal is transformation. When people see you thriving after they tried to break you, they realize the truth. You were never the problem. You were the blessing, and they let you go. That regret lingers, not because you wished harm upon them, but because their own actions returned to them. That's the law of energy, the spiritual principle that what you put out into the world eventually comes back. You are no longer the person they once knew. You have elevated. You have healed. You have embraced your spiritual power. The universe always had a plan for you, and that plan was never small. You were called for something greater, something beyond the comprehension of those who doubted you. So, don't dwell on the past. Don't look back at the ones who failed to see your worth. Instead, step into your destiny with confidence. Walk in your purpose. Trust in divine timing. The universe has always been on your side, preparing you for a future beyond your imagination. And when those who once wronged you watch from the sidelines, they will finally understand. You were never just another person in their life. You were the lesson they had to learn. If this message resonates with you, comment, "I am grateful for my transformation," to affirm your journey. Your solitude was never abandonment, it was preparation. 2. You are a reflection and a test. There comes a point in life when you begin to realize that you were never just another person passing through. You were always something more than a mirror, reflecting truth back to the world around you. You didn't have to try to be special. Simply by being yourself, your energy revealed who people truly were. Some embraced your light and grew stronger in your presence. Others, confronted by their own shadows, turned away. The way they treated you had little to do with who you were and everything to do with what you stirred in them. You are not just a person, you are a living karma. Your energy carries power. Whether you are aware of it or not, it acts as a spiritual mirror. When someone interacts with you, their response says more about them than it does about you. Some people feel uplifted around you. They feel hopeful, inspired, and seen. Your energy awakens something beautiful in them. They recognize your pure intentions, your light, your honesty, and they feel at peace. You remind them of who they can become when they live in alignment with their truth. But others, when faced with your presence, feel exposed. These are people who have been hiding from themselves for a long time. And when they come close to someone like you, someone who lives in authenticity, they feel uncomfortable. Instead of changing or healing, they resist. They lash out, distance themselves, or try to belittle you. This reaction is not about anything you've done wrong. It is about what your energy reflects back to them, the very truths they are not ready to face. That's why some people feel calm around you, while others become defensive or even cruel. Those who are committed to growth and truth will value you deeply. They will feel that your presence is a gift. They will admire your strength, your insight, your ability to remain grounded even in the face of chaos. But those who are living in lies, selfish motives, or fear will feel threatened. Your existence disrupts their illusions. You remind them, without saying a word, of everything they're avoiding within themselves. It's important that you never confuse their reactions with your worth. You are not here to make others comfortable by dimming your light. You are here to be exactly who you are. If someone mistreats you, walks away, or spreads negativity about you, understand this: they are revealing their own inner turmoil. Let them. You are not here to fix them. You are not responsible for their healing. You are only responsible for standing in your truth. The universe works through balance. Every action creates a ripple, and no energy goes unnoticed. When someone harms you or takes you for granted, they are not just hurting you. They are creating consequences for themselves. You don't have to fight back or prove anything. The law of karma is already in motion. Those who wronged you will eventually face the energy they put into the world. It always comes full circle. Often, people don't realize what they had until it's gone. Once your light is no longer around, they begin to feel the emptiness. The peace they feel near you becomes something they long for. The same people who once dismissed or betrayed you may one day carry the weight of regret, not because you wished harm upon them, but because they must face the results of their own actions. That is the nature of spiritual balance. Chosen ones, know this deeply. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You were chosen to carry a light that would expose what's hidden and heal what's broken. Your spiritual awakening is not a coincidence. It is your soul remembering its mission. It comes with challenges, with loneliness, with misunderstanding. But it also comes with divine protection and inner strength. You don't need to fight the battles that the universe is already handling. Keep shining. Keep walking. Keep trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And if ever you feel isolated, doubted, or unappreciated, remember this truth. Your presence is enough. You are a living karma, a reflection of truth, and a channel of light. Those who are meant to grow with you will find you. Those who can't handle your light will step away. Let them. You were never here to please everyone. You were here to awaken souls. If this message speaks to you, say these words aloud or in the comments. I am a mirror. And in doing so, welcome clarity, strength, and alignment into your life. 3. You disrupt illusions. As a chosen one, your presence alone carries a force that unsettles those who hide behind masks of deception. You naturally expose lies, false identities, and hidden agendas, not because you actively seek to, but because your very essence is a reflection of truth. This makes many uncomfortable, especially those who resist change. Instead of acknowledging their own flaws, they turn against you, seeing you as the source of their discomfort rather than the mirror revealing their own shadows. For some, you are a living karma. Not because you wish harm upon anyone, but because your spiritual awakening serves as a reminder of the integrity they lack. When you walk into a room, your energy speaks louder than words, making it impossible for people to keep up their facades. Your authenticity exposes their insincerity, and instead of taking accountability, they lash out, criticize, or attempt to diminish your light. They blame you, but the real issue is their own resistance to transformation. Deep down, they recognize that your presence is urging them to evolve. Yet change is a battle they are not ready to fight. Many have underestimated you. They mistook your kindness for weakness, your silence for ignorance. Some took advantage of your generosity, only to realize too late that your absence leaves a void that cannot be filled. Now, regret seeps into their hearts as they remember the way they treated you. They recall the moments when they dismissed you, rejected your wisdom, or tried to tear you down only to find themselves stuck in the very cycles they once ridiculed you for breaking free from. You moved on, elevated yourself, and found peace, while they remained trapped in their own illusions. What they failed to understand is that your journey was never about seeking revenge or proving your worth to them. You never needed their validation. Your path has always been about personal and spiritual evolution. Every rejection, every betrayal, and every moment of isolation was a divine test, one that shaped you into the resilient, enlightened being you are today. You were meant to walk through the fire, not to be consumed by it, but to emerge stronger, purified, and unshakable. Let this be a lesson for you. Never dim your light to make others comfortable. The right people will see your truth and embrace it, while the wrong ones will resist and reveal their true nature in the process. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to awaken, to heal, and to inspire. When people regret how they treated you, it is not your responsibility to fix their guilt. That is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. Your spiritual awakening is not just about seeing the truth, it is about embodying it. It is about walking in alignment with your higher purpose, regardless of who supports you or who resents you for it. Keep shining. Keep growing. The world may not always understand your light, but those who are meant to will be drawn to it. Your presence alone is a catalyst for transformation. Let those who can't handle it fall away, for they were never meant to walk this path with you. If you're ready to break free from illusions and embrace the truth, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's awaken together. 4. Chosen ones are living karma. There comes a time in every chosen one's journey when you realize you were never just another person in people's lives. You were the catalyst. You were the reflection of their intentions, the consequence of their actions. Some people crossed paths with you and experienced blessings beyond measure, while others found themselves facing the weight of their own deception. Whether they admit it or not, your presence disrupted the illusion they carefully crafted. And now, as you rise in your spiritual power, many regret how they treated you. You were never meant to blend in because you are divine energy walking among those still asleep. When people mistreated you, betrayed you, or underestimated you, they unknowingly signed their own karmic contract. The way they treated you was never about you. It was a direct reflection of their own heart, their own unresolved wounds, and their own spiritual alignment. Some people thought they could use you, manipulate you, or discard you without consequences. But you are not just a person. You are a force of truth. Those who wronged you eventually come to realize that their actions carried weight. And now, they sit in silence, replaying memories, feeling the regret of what they lost. One of the most powerful aspects of being a chosen one is that your energy is pure, and purity cannot coexist with deception. When you step into someone's life, you bring a light so bright that it reveals every shadow they tried to hide. This is why some people feel uncomfortable around you. They are not reacting to you. They are reacting to the truth you expose within them. Some people, upon being exposed, take it as an opportunity to grow. They reflect, they transform, and they become better. But others, they resist. They hold on to their lies, thinking they can escape the reckoning. Yet karma is patient, and the longer they resist, the harder the lesson becomes. Every soul that enters your life makes a choice: to align with truth or to be consumed by their own falsehoods. Those who chose truth, who honored and respected you, found their lives expanding. They received blessings, clarity, and spiritual growth because your presence elevated them. But those who operated in deceit, manipulation, and jealousy found themselves losing everything they tried to control. Not because you wished harm upon them, but because they built their lives on lies. And the moment they mistreated someone with divine energy, their foundation began to crumble. It may not always be visible to you, but rest assured, the regret is there. The ones who mistreated you now see your growth. They see your elevation. They hear about your success. And deep inside, they know that they were part of your past, but they will never be part of your future. Some will try to come back, hoping to fix what they broke. Others will watch from a distance, unable to face you, knowing they burned the bridge beyond repair. Their karma is not your burden. Your only duty is to continue rising, to continue embracing your spiritual wisdom, and to continue shining your divine light. Comment below, "I am a mirror of truth," if you embrace your power to reveal and transform. Let your presence be the force that awakens those around you. 5. You trigger change in people. There's something about your presence that shakes people, not because you try to, but because your very existence brings light to the things they've tried to keep hidden. Your spirit carries a frequency that penetrates masks and exposes the truth. For those who have spent their lives avoiding self-reflection, being around you can feel unsettling. Your energy is felt before it is understood. People might not be able to explain it, but something within them reacts when you're near. That reaction? It's spiritual recognition. You reflect back what's real. You reveal what's beneath the surface, both the beauty and the pain. You are not just a person. You are a mirror of the soul. This is why people sometimes distance themselves from you or treat you with hostility. It's not that you've done anything wrong. It's that your energy stirs something within them they're not ready to face. Their fears, their hidden wounds, their unhealed traumas, they all rise in your presence. And instead of healing, many choose to deflect. They project their discomfort onto you, making you the target of their unresolved pain. As the saying goes, truth doesn't always comfort, it confronts. And your truth, your light, is a force they can't ignore. When others mistreat you, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of what they cannot confront in themselves. In the moment, they might ridicule you, betray you, or underestimate you. But the truth has a way of resurfacing. And when it does, so does the weight of their actions. Because the universe always restores balance. What is sent out must return. This is the spiritual law of energy. Those who tried to dim your light will one day feel the void of it. They will reflect on the moments they dismissed you, dishonored your spirit, and took your goodness for granted. But by then, you will have already ascended. You will have grown in silence, healed in private, and evolved into the highest version of yourself. Their opinions, their actions, their regret won't matter anymore. You'll be living in a realm they can no longer reach. There's no need to retaliate, no need to explain. Your evolution is the only answer needed. Your success, your joy, your inner peace, that's the karma. You are the shift. Your existence alone is a divine ripple that realigns everything around you. Those who hurt you will eventually come to understand the pain they caused, not because you forced them to see it, but because the universe has a way of teaching lessons through experience. They will face the emotions they once triggered in you, and they will remember. But that reflection is theirs to carry, not yours. The most empowering truth is this: you are not responsible for their awakening. Your path is to keep rising, to stay aligned with your divine calling, to radiate your light regardless of who tries to dim it. Because the universe moves in harmony with your spirit, even when the world doesn't recognize your worth. So never apologize for who you are. Don't water yourself down for the comfort of others. Keep expanding. Keep glowing. Keep being the spiritual reminder that transformation is possible and that light always wins in the end. And if this message resonates with your soul, declare it boldly in the comments. My presence brings clarity. I honor my divine energy and rise above all illusions. 6. You are both a blessing and a warning. You help those who are ready to grow, but you also challenge those who resist change. Your presence is like a mirror, revealing both light and darkness in others. Some embrace this reflection and evolve, while others react with jealousy, resentment, or even betrayal. But here's the truth. No one encounters you and remains the same. The people who wronged you, whether they lied, betrayed, or abandoned you, now face the consequences of their actions. At the time, they might have dismissed you, thinking they could hurt you without repercussions. But life has a way of restoring balance. And now, they are realizing that losing you was not just a mistake, it was a spiritual lesson. You were placed in their lives as a test, and they failed. Now, they struggle with regrets, haunted by the realization that they mistreated someone truly special. Even those who pretend to be indifferent cannot escape the weight of your presence in their hearts and minds. No matter how much they try to suppress it, they still think about you. You were never just another person to them. You were an awakening, a disruption to their comfort zone, a reminder of what they could have had if they had chosen to grow instead of resist. They replay past conversations, relive moments when they could have acted differently, and wish they could turn back time. But the universe does not grant second chances so easily, especially when someone takes a divine presence like yours for granted. The pain they inflicted on you was meant to break you, but instead, it became the catalyst for your transformation. You rose above it, stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your divine purpose. You no longer seek validation from those who failed to see your worth. Instead, you walk your path with confidence, knowing that you were never the problem their inability to handle your light was. And as they watch you thrive, they begin to understand the depth of their mistake. Their regret is not just about losing you. It's about realizing that they were given a rare opportunity to evolve, and they let it slip away. You are not here to be mistreated or undervalued. You are a force of spiritual awakening, meant to elevate those who are ready and expose those who are not. When people betray or reject you, understand that their actions are a reflection of their own limitations, not your worth. Trust that karma is at work, not out of revenge, but as a way to restore balance. You are not here to chase love, respect, or recognition. You are here to embody your truth, and in doing so, you naturally attract the right people while leaving behind those who were never meant to walk this path with you. Stay strong, chosen ones, because your journey is not just about you, it is about awakening the world. Have you ever experienced a moment when those who wronged you finally faced the consequences of their actions? If so, share your story in the comments below so others can learn from your journey. If not, comment, "I trust the process," to affirm your faith in divine justice and personal growth. Let's embrace this transformation together. 7. Your energy is unstoppable. There is something undeniable about your presence. It carries a frequency that cannot be manipulated or subdued. People have tried some with subtle manipulation, others with direct attacks, but nothing could diminish the essence of who you are. This is because your strength is not external. It is spiritual. It is something no human hand can take away. Many may have underestimated you, assuming they had control over your destiny. They mistook your humility for weakness and your kindness for naivety. But in truth, you were always aware. You saw their intentions, you felt the energy shifts, and you recognized the betrayals before they even unfolded. Yet, you chose to rise above it all because your path was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving yourself right. Now, as you step into your power, Those same individuals watch in disbelief. The very ones who sought to diminish your light now stand in the shadows, unable to ignore the radiance of your success. This is the nature of spiritual energy. It cannot be contained. It expands, it elevates, and it transforms everything in its path. And you, the chosen one, are a force of transformation. Every hardship made you stronger, preparing you for your purpose. There was never a moment of suffering that went to waste. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night you endured, and every moment of isolation was a necessary chapter in your journey. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. Life was never meant to be easy for you. The path of a chosen one is filled with trials, not because you are doomed to struggle, but because you are destined to lead. The weight of your purpose required the strength of endurance. This is why you faced betrayal to learn discernment. This is why you experienced loss to understand resilience. This is why you walked alone to cultivate unshakable faith in yourself and the divine plan that guides you. Now, looking back, you can see the pattern. The very obstacles that once seemed insurmountable were the stepping stones to your awakening. You no longer see them as burdens, but as blessings. And those who once mocked your struggles now stand in awe of your triumph. What was once their entertainment has become their regret, as they realize that you were never the victim. They were simply blind to your greatness. The world has conditioned people to stay small, to conform, to seek safety in the ordinary. But you, the chosen one, were never meant to live within those limits. The very essence of your being rebels against mediocrity. You are here to shift realities, to break generational cycles, and to awaken those who are still trapped in illusion. Your presence alone disrupts the status quo. You inspire, you challenge, and you reveal truths that many are not ready to face. This is why your journey was so difficult, because the energy you carry is powerful enough to create ripples in the very fabric of existence. And now, as you rise, those who doubted you can no longer deny the truth. The same people who dismissed your vision are now desperate to understand how you transformed your life. They are witnessing the divine justice unfold before their eyes, realizing too late that their mistreatment of you was never unnoticed by the universe. You are living proof that spiritual power transcends all limitations. You have become the karma they never saw coming, the reminder that every action, every intention, and every word carries weight. And while they struggle with their regrets, you continue forward, untouched, unstoppable, and fully aligned with your divine purpose. Chosen one, stand tall in your truth. The world has yet to see the full magnitude of your power, but they will. And when they do, they will know they never had the power to break you. You were always destined to rise. If this message has awakened something deep within you, affirm your power in the comments. I am unstoppable. Every challenge has made me stronger. I am here to transform reality. 8. People regret mistreating you. Have you ever noticed how the people who wronged you seem to experience chaos after you walk away? How they secretly watch you, almost as if haunted by your absence? This isn't a coincidence. It's not about love or hate. It's about something much deeper. It's about the fear of what you represent. You see, as a chosen one, you are a force of spiritual energy. Your presence in people's lives is like a mirror, reflecting their true nature back at them. Some people are not ready to see that reflection. They resist growth reject accountability, and take your kindness for granted. But the moment you step away, their world begins to shift. You carry a divine light within you. This light illuminates not just your own path, but also the darkness in others. When people betray, deceive, or mistreat you, they are not just hurting you. They are rejecting the spiritual energy you bring into their lives. And the universe always responds. The philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." But what happens when people decide to act out of jealousy, manipulation, or deceit? They align themselves with negative energy, and that energy eventually returns to them. This is karma in action. When you leave someone's life, you take your spiritual presence with you. The balance shifts, the peace, the healing, the wisdom you provided, it's gone. And suddenly, they begin to feel the weight of their own actions. At first, they may not acknowledge it, but over time, they start to realize that their life was better when you were in it. They see opportunities slipping away, relationships falling apart, and their own struggles intensifying. And that's when the regret sets in. They start to watch you from a distance, hoping to see if you've fallen, only to realize that you are thriving. Your success becomes their silent punishment, not because you wish them harm, but because the universe has a way of restoring balance. As the Bible says in Galatians 6:7, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Chosen ones, do not waste time looking back. You are not responsible for the lessons others need to learn. Your journey is about growth, about elevating to new heights. Every time you elevate, you step into a new frequency, one that those who mistreated you cannot access unless they choose to heal. And healing requires humility, accountability, and self-awareness, something not everyone is ready for. So let them watch, let them wonder, but never let their regret hold you back. You are destined for greatness, and no amount of past betrayal can stop the divine plan that is unfolding in your life. Are you ready to step into your power and let the universe handle the rest? If so, comment below, "I rise above," to affirm your strength and embrace your journey forward. 9. You were sent to stand out, not fit in. The universe does not hide the chosen ones in the background. You are meant to stand out, not by force, but by the sheer presence of your energy. You carry a divine essence that shifts the atmosphere, making people around you feel something deep within themselves, whether they acknowledge it or not. Your existence is a mirror, reflecting back to others their own truths, and for many, this can be uncomfortable. Some will admire you, feel inspired, and begin their own journey of self-discovery. Others will resent you because your light exposes the shadows they are not ready to confront. This is why, as a chosen one, you often experience resistance, betrayal, or even hostility from those who once claimed to care about you. Your energy is powerful, not because you seek attention, but because your soul vibrates at a frequency that naturally demands transformation. People cannot remain stagnant in your presence. You either inspire growth in them, or they reveal their true nature, the one they try to hide from the world. This is why you may have encountered relationships where you were taken for granted, disrespected, or even cast aside. Those who mistreated you may not have realized it at the time, but they were given a rare opportunity to stand beside someone who carried divine wisdom, spiritual awakening, and an unshakable inner strength. And now, As you rise, they are left with the weight of their own choices, regretting how they treated you. The beauty of your journey is that you do not seek revenge. Your very existence is karma in motion. You do not have to do anything to make people regret losing you. The universe handles that. The lessons you brought into their lives will echo long after you have walked away. Some will come to understand that they had the privilege of knowing someone truly rare, someone whose energy was a gift. They may wish they had valued you more, but by the time they realize it, you will have already moved forward, evolving, elevating, and stepping fully into your purpose. Being a chosen one means embracing the solitude that sometimes comes with your path. It means understanding that not everyone is meant to walk beside you, and those who leave were simply not ready for the transformation you naturally bring. But do not dim your light to make others comfortable. Your purpose is to awaken, to heal, and to inspire. The universe has placed you exactly where you need to be. Let those who are meant to grow with you stay, and let those who resist their own evolution drift away. In the end, you will see that everything happened exactly as it was meant to. Stay strong, embrace your power, and trust that your journey is unfolding with divine perfection. If this message resonated with you, let me know by commenting, "I am chosen," below. Your presence is powerful. Let's embrace it together. 10. Your silence is powerful. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when those who disrespected you, overlooked you, and tried to manipulate your spirit are forced to face the reality they were wrong. Your energy disrupts the illusions of those who thrive in deceit. They attempted to belittle you, twist your mind, and keep you bound in their chaos. But now, they watch in silence as you rise with grace. What they never understood is that your silence was never surrender. It was a quiet declaration of strength. Your calm departure wasn't giving up. It was stepping into divine alignment. Have you ever noticed how toxic individuals feed off your emotions? They poke at your wounds, twist your words, and provoke you just to spark a reaction. Their control comes not from their power, but from your attention. They entangle you in drama to keep you spinning in confusion. But what they didn't anticipate was your evolution. Your ability to remain composed, to respond with stillness instead of outrage, shakes the very ground they stand on. The moment you withdraw your emotional energy, their grip dissolves. They panic, not because you fought back, but because you didn't. There's sacred wisdom in choosing not to respond. While many believe loud voices win battles, silence often reveals more truth than any argument ever could. It exposes manipulation without confrontation. Your silence becomes a reflection of their chaos, a mirror showing them everything they tried to hide. And that mirror is unbearable to face. They crave a reaction, a sign that they still hold sway. But when you offer stillness, you reclaim your power. As the saying goes, never argue with a fool, or you become one. Rising in silence means you no longer play their game. You leave them to wrestle with their own shadows. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It shifts the balance, removes their access to your spirit, and forces them to sit in the void they created. Those who tried to control or diminish you will eventually come to terms with the consequences of their actions. Without your presence, they're left to face their own emptiness. And for many, the realization comes too late. They underestimated the value of your energy, your heart, and your light. And here's a divine truth. You are their karma, not by seeking revenge, but by thriving. Your healing, your success, your unshakable peace, all shine as proof that their efforts failed. The chosen ones are not here to fight battles. They're here to rise, to awaken, to transcend. The most powerful response is not retaliation, it's transformation. So keep walking your sacred path. Your silence holds power, your energy is gold, and your absence echoes loudly in the places where you once stood. Let them feel the loss. Let them sit in the silence they never expected. You, beloved soul, are already far ahead, guided, protected, and aligned with something greater. Stay connected with our channel, where we dive deep into the wisdom of energy, spiritual growth, and personal mastery. Remember, your peace is untouchable. Choose silence, walk away, and let the light within you speak louder than any words ever could. We may never fully understand the depths of karma or why certain souls are chosen to walk this path, but one thing is certain: your presence is a mirror, a lesson, and a force of spiritual awakening for those around you. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. And make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos that dive even deeper into the journey of the chosen ones. Your energy is powerful. Your path is divine. Keep shining. 7 physical signs God is speaking to you. This will surprise you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. Have you ever wondered if God is speaking to you, but didn't recognize his voice? The truth is, God is always communicating with us, guiding our steps, and revealing his plans. But too often, we miss his messages simply because we don't know how to discern them. Today, we'll uncover 7 surprising physical signs that God is speaking to you. Pay close attention. These signs may already be present in your life. Have you ever experienced a moment where you felt God was trying to tell you something? Share your experience in the comments below, and let's grow together in spiritual wisdom. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more divine insights. Now, let's dive in. 1. Unexplainable physical encounters. Throughout Scripture and history, we find physical manifestations of God's presence that go beyond the realm of natural explanation. These encounters are not mere hallucinations or imagination, but direct, life-altering moments that confirm his voice. One of the most striking examples is found in the life of Moses. While tending his flock in the wilderness, he came across a bush engulfed in flames, yet not consumed. Exodus 3:2-4. From within the fire, God's voice called him by name, marking the beginning of his divine assignment. This moment was not just a vision, but a physical encounter with the supernatural, proving that when God speaks, he often does so in ways that break natural laws. Similarly, Paul's encounter on the road to Damascus, Acts 9:3-6, was nothing short of extraordinary. A brilliant light from heaven flashed around him, and in that moment, he fell to the ground, hearing the unmistakable voice of Christ. This divine intervention left him physically blind for 3 days, emphasizing how God's presence can manifest in ways that directly affect the body. Such encounters remind us that when God speaks through physical signs, they are not always subtle. They are powerful, unexplainable, and often disruptive, meant to awaken, redirect, and confirm His calling upon our lives. Another way God speaks is through sudden, intense physical sensations that have no medical or logical cause. Some people describe experiencing an overwhelming warmth, a tingling sensation, or a deep, unshakable peace during moments of prayer or worship. Others feel a sudden pressure in their chest, or a sense of being enveloped in an invisible presence. These moments are not random. The Holy Spirit often moves through the body, confirming His presence and guiding the believer toward deeper spiritual awareness. Such experiences can be a sign that God is speaking, urging one to pay attention, pray, or move in obedience. While rare, there are moments when individuals hear the audible voice of God, a voice so distinct that it feels as though someone is standing right beside them. Though not everyone will hear God in this way, those who do often describe it as a commanding yet deeply loving voice, speaking clarity into their lives. More commonly, however, God's voice comes as a whisper within the spirit, a still, small voice that resonates deep within the heart. Elijah experienced this in 1 Kings 19:12, where God was not in the mighty wind, earthquake, or fire, but in a gentle whisper. If you have ever had a thought or a phrase repeat in your mind with unusual clarity and weight, it could be the voice of God directing you toward His will. God has always used visions and dreams as a method of communication. In biblical times, Joseph, Daniel, and even the wise men who visited Jesus were guided by divine dreams. Today, many people still experience prophetic dreams or open visions where God reveals truths, warnings, or confirmations. These dreams often have a strong spiritual presence, leaving a person deeply moved upon waking. Unlike ordinary dreams, divine visions tend to carry symbolic meaning, vivid imagery, and a lasting impression, often prompting action or deeper reflection. If God is speaking to you this way, He may be revealing a message that requires discernment and prayer. Have you ever experienced an unexplainable physical encounter with God? If so, share your experience in the comments below to inspire others. If not, comment, "I am open," and embrace the possibility of divine encounters in your life. 2. Repeated messages or signs. Have you ever noticed the same message appearing in your life over and over again? Maybe a certain verse from the Bible keeps coming up. A sermon you hear feels like it was meant just for you, or even random conversations seem to revolve around the same theme. When this happens, it is not a coincidence God could be speaking to you through repeated messages. God often communicates in ways that require us to be attentive. He might use different channels of Scripture, a conversation with a friend, a podcast, a book, or even a message you randomly come across on social media. When you keep encountering the same idea or lesson, it is a sign that He is guiding you towards something important. This is how God grabs your attention, gently nudging you towards spiritual awakening. The challenge is to recognize these patterns and not dismiss them as mere chance. When you experience these repeated messages, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why is this coming up so often? What is God trying to tell me? This is where prayer becomes crucial. Through prayer, you can seek clarity and discern His voice amidst the noise of everyday life. Instead of brushing off these signs, take time to meditate on them. Sometimes, God speaks in whispers, and those whispers come through the repetition of meaningful insights. Repeated messages are often a call to action. They could be an encouragement to step into a new chapter of your life, a confirmation that you are on the right path, or a warning to change direction. If you are facing a difficult decision or struggling with uncertainty, these divine repetitions serve as reminders that God is present, guiding your steps. His voice does not always come in dramatic ways. It is often woven into the fabric of your daily life, waiting for you to notice. To truly understand what God is saying, you must be spiritually open. Spiritual awakening happens when you become aware of divine guidance and choose to follow it. The more you acknowledge and respond to these repeated signs, the more in tune you become with God's voice. He is always speaking, but are you listening? If you believe God is always speaking and want to listen more closely, comment, "Lord, I am listening." Let's open our hearts to His voice together. God speaks in ways that are sometimes subtle, but always intentional. Stay present, stay open, and trust that He is guiding you exactly where you need to be. 3. God speaking through others. Have you ever had a moment where someone, perhaps a family member, a close friend, or even a complete stranger, said something that felt like a direct answer to your prayers or thoughts? It's as if God Himself was speaking through them, sending you a message at just the right time. This is no coincidence. It is one of the ways God communicates with us, especially when we struggle to hear His voice on our own. When we feel spiritually distant or uncertain about a decision, God often uses people around us as His messengers. He places them in our path to provide guidance, reassurance, or even correction. Proverbs 11:14 reminds us, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety." God, in His infinite wisdom, ensures that we are not alone on our spiritual journey. He speaks through others to lead us back to Him. God's voice doesn't always come in a dramatic revelation or a miraculous sign. More often, He speaks through the words of those around us. Have you ever been going through a difficult season and suddenly someone shares a piece of advice that directly addresses your struggles? Or maybe a pastor's sermon feels like it was tailored specifically for your situation. This is not by chance, it's divine orchestration. In moments of doubt, God can use someone to confirm what He has already placed in your heart. Perhaps you have been praying for clarity on a decision, and then, seemingly out of nowhere, a friend offers wisdom that aligns perfectly with what you were seeking. This is a powerful reminder that God is always near, guiding you even when you can't hear Him clearly. As the Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Thessalonians 5:11, "Therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing." God works through His people to uplift, direct, and strengthen us in our spiritual walk. Throughout history, God has used prophets to deliver His word. While we may not always encounter prophets in the traditional sense, the prophetic gift still exists today. There are moments when someone speaks to us with such precision and divine insight that we cannot deny God's presence in that encounter. Perhaps you've met someone who, without knowing your struggles, speaks directly into your situation. This is not merely intuition, it is God working through them. Jesus Himself said in John 10:27, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." If we remain spiritually open and attuned, we will recognize when God is speaking to us through others. Stay connected with our community of faith by subscribing to our channel. Here, we explore the many ways God speaks to us through family, pastors, and even strangers to guide and reassure us of His presence. Let His voice strengthen your faith and remind you that you are never alone. Remember, God is always speaking. Are you listening? Subscribe now and journey with us in faith. 4. Illness as a spiritual signal. One of the most powerful ways God communicates with us is through the opportunities He places in our path. When we pray for direction, He often responds not with an audible voice, but through circumstances that align in ways we never expected. In the Bible, we see this time and time again. Consider the story of Moses and the Red Sea. When Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, they found themselves trapped between Pharaoh's advancing army and the vast, impassable sea. In that moment of desperation, Moses cried out to God, and what happened? The sea parted before him, creating a path to safety. God didn't just remove the challenge, He provided a way through it. This is how He operates in our lives as well, by opening doors where there once were walls. When God is leading you, He often aligns circumstances in a way that is beyond human explanation. You may find doors opening in areas where you felt stuck for years. A job you never applied for might suddenly become available. A business idea may gain momentum effortlessly. A person may enter your life who brings clarity and direction. However, it is crucial to discern whether these opportunities are truly from God. Not every open door is meant to be walked through. Some are distractions, while others are tests of faith. How can you tell the difference? Peace over pressure. God's opportunities bring peace, not chaos. Even if the path requires courage, there is an underlying sense of divine assurance. Alignment with His Word. Any opportunity that contradicts spiritual principles is not from Him. God will never lead you into something that goes against His truth. Divine timing. Sometimes, an open door may seem inconvenient or unexpected, but if it aligns with what God has been preparing you for, it is likely a sign. Recognizing an open door is one thing, but stepping through it requires faith. Like Moses, you may feel unqualified or uncertain. Yet, if God has opened the door, He will equip you for what lies ahead. The key is to trust in His plan, even when it doesn't make sense at the moment. Many times, the doors God opens lead to transformation, not just externally, but spiritually. They challenge us to grow, to trust Him more deeply, and to step into a purpose greater than ourselves. If you've been praying for guidance, pay attention to the doors that are opening around you. Seek wisdom, discern His voice, and when you recognize His hand at work, step forward with faith. The path may not always be easy, but when God opens a door, He walks through it with you. If this message resonates with you, comment below. I trust God's divine timing. When you align with His plan, the right doors will open at the right time. Stay faithful, stay discerning, and step forward with confidence. 5. Open doors and opportunities. Have you ever found yourself struggling to sleep, waking up at the same odd hours night after night? This might not just be a coincidence, it could be a sign that God is speaking to you. In the stillness of the night, when the noise of the world quiets down, your spirit becomes more attuned to divine messages. The nighttime holds a unique power, a sacred silence where your soul can hear what it often misses during the day. Instead of feeling frustrated or restless, take this as an opportunity to seek deeper understanding. Instead of tossing and turning, use this time to pray, meditate, or simply be still in God's presence. Many spiritual awakenings begin in moments of solitude, and what better time than when the world is at rest? There is something significant about waking up at specific times often. People report waking up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., sometimes with an unshakable feeling or a sudden burst of clarity. In spiritual traditions, these hours are considered moments of divine intervention, where the veil between the physical and spiritual realms is at its thinnest. If this happens to you frequently, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what is God trying to tell me? Is there a decision I've been avoiding or a truth I need to face? Rather than fearing these moments, embrace them. Keep a journal by your bedside and write down any thoughts or feelings that arise. Sometimes, God whispers to us in ways that only make sense later. This experience can be a powerful reminder that God's voice is not always loud and obvious. He speaks in the quiet, in the unexpected moments, nudging you towards spiritual awakening. If you find yourself unable to sleep, shift your perspective. Perhaps it is not insomnia, but an invitation. Use the time to pray and surrender your worries. Recite scripture, listen to calming worship music, or simply breathe in His presence. Your sleeplessness may not be a burden, but a sacred calling to deepen your connection with the divine. Many great spiritual leaders throughout history have experienced moments of revelation during the night. The Bible itself is filled with stories of God speaking to people in dreams and visions. Jacob wrestled with an angel through the night and received a blessing. Samuel heard God calling him while he was sleeping. Even Jesus would withdraw to pray in the early hours, seeking communion with the Father. Perhaps God is calling you in a similar way, not to struggle against it, but to lean into it, to listen, and to grow. The next time you wake up unexpectedly, do not immediately reach for your phone or try to force yourself back to sleep. Instead, be still. Listen. Let God's presence fill you. If you sense a message, acknowledge it. If you feel peace, rest in it. And if you feel called to action, do not ignore it. Spiritual awakening often begins in the quietest moments, when the distractions of the world fade away, and all that is left is you and God. The lesson here is clear. When your sleep is interrupted, consider that it might not be a random event, but a divine invitation. God often speaks in ways that are subtle yet powerful. Rather than resisting, open your heart and embrace these moments. They could be guiding you toward clarity, transformation, and a deeper spiritual connection. Let go of frustration, replace it with faith, and allow God's voice to lead you. If this message resonates with you, don't ignore it, embrace it. God may be speaking to you in the quiet of the night, guiding you toward a deeper connection. Have you experienced this? Share your faith in the comments. God is speaking to me, and I am listening. 6. Unexplainable physical encounters. One of the most profound ways God communicates is through His peace. This peace isn't just the absence of trouble. It's a divine assurance that surpasses all human understanding. The Bible tells us in Philippians 4:6-7, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This means that no matter what is happening around you, when you turn to God in prayer, His peace will shield you like armor, calming your heart and mind. But what about when you experience the opposite of a sudden and unexplained anxiety? You may find yourself feeling uneasy, restless, or even fearful without any logical reason. This could be God urging you to pause, reflect, and surrender your burdens to Him. Often, He allows discomfort to steer us away from something harmful or to direct our attention to an area in our life that needs healing. Have you ever felt an unexplainable heaviness before making a major decision? Sometimes, that feeling is God's way of telling you, wait, this isn't the path I have for you. God also speaks through intuition and discernment, that deep gut feeling that tells you something is off or that you need to take a specific action. The Holy Spirit works within us, guiding us toward righteousness. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. When your heart is aligned with God, you will sense His direction in ways that go beyond human logic. Another physical sign is an overwhelming sense of joy that doesn't come from external circumstances. Have you ever experienced a moment of unexplainable happiness, even when things aren't perfect in your life? This is a spiritual gift, God's way of reminding you that true joy comes from Him alone, not from the world. As Nehemiah 8:10 says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." Perhaps you've experienced a sudden moment of stillness, a deep pause in your spirit where everything feels quiet. In those moments, God is inviting you to listen. In 1 Kings 19:12, Elijah didn't find God in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire, but in a gentle whisper. Sometimes we expect God to speak through loud signs, but more often, He speaks in stillness. The next time you feel an unusual silence in your soul, don't rush to fill it. Sit with it. God may be revealing something important to you. Another way God speaks is through physical sensations during prayer or worship. Have you ever felt chills or a warmth in your heart while praying? This isn't just emotion. It's the presence of the Holy Spirit moving within you. John 14:26 tells us, "But the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you." These moments remind us that God is not distant. He is near, embracing us with His love. Lastly, have you ever experienced tears that come out of nowhere, not from sadness, but from a deep spiritual connection? Sometimes, when God is touching our hearts, we respond physically without even realizing it. These tears are often a sign of release, healing, or God's overwhelming love being poured into your spirit. God is always speaking. The key is to tune in and recognize the signs. If you've been experiencing any of these physical sensations, don't ignore them. Take a moment to pray, reflect, and ask God what He is trying to show you. The more you seek Him, the clearer His voice becomes. If this message has touched your heart today, let us know in the comments by declaring, "I trust in God's guidance. His peace leads my path." If you've ever felt God speaking to you through peace, intuition, or even stillness, share your experience below. We'd love to hear how He has moved in your life. And if this video blessed you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message of faith and encouragement. Stay connected, stay faithful, and may God's peace be with you always. 7. God speaking through others. God desires health and wholeness for us, but sometimes He allows illness to serve as a wake-up call, a sacred pause in the busyness of life, urging us to reflect on our spiritual journey. Suffering is never meaningless in God's plan. Rather, it can be a tool he uses to draw us closer to him, refine our faith, and deepen our dependence on his divine strength. While some illnesses may be consequences of our actions, such as neglecting our well-being or making unhealthy choices, sickness is not always a result of wrongdoing. The disciples once asked Jesus about a blind man, assuming his condition was due to sin. Jesus replied, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him." John 9:2-3. This powerful verse reminds us that illness can be an opportunity for God to reveal his glory. Rather than seeing sickness as mere suffering, consider it a season of spiritual growth. It may be God's way of urging you to slow down, rest in his presence, and seek his healing both physically and spiritually. When we shift our perspective and invite God into our struggles, we open the door for his grace and transformation to work in our lives. Have you ever noticed how moments of weakness lead to the greatest revelations? It's in those quiet, vulnerable times when our physical strength fades that we learn to trust in God's power completely. As Paul wrote, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. Your illness could be an invitation to lean into God's unfailing love and discover a deeper, more intimate relationship with him. So, if you are facing sickness right now, ask yourself, what might God be teaching me through this? Is he calling you to rest, to surrender control, or to trust him for healing? Instead of merely enduring the pain, embrace it as a moment of divine communication, one where God is drawing you closer and revealing his purpose for your life. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on your spiritual journey. Declare your faith in God's wisdom and healing by commenting below, "I trust in his plan." Let this be a reminder that even in illness, there is purpose, growth, and divine guidance. God speaks to us in many ways, often through signs we may not immediately recognize. When you experience these physical signs, take a moment to reflect, pray, and open your heart to his guidance. Remember, God is always with you, guiding you toward your highest purpose. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with others who might need this message, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more insights on deepening your spiritual journey. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. May you always be attuned to the divine whispers in your life. See you in the next video. Stay blessed